I hope everyone will be in, because there is two important videos. This is the first time I'm invited, so. Let us pray. Let us start. I'm sorry. I know we prayed already. I'm sorry. O Lord, hear us when we call upon you. Thanks, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be. Come, will be done on earth. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespass, as we forgive those trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from the evil one. Through Christ Jesus our Lord, and the kingdom, the power, the glory forever and ever. Amen. The talk number 4, the 7 principles of making marriage work. And this is, I think, is very, very important talk for many reasons. Number 1 is how this concept came. There is a brilliant math IT student, MIT student, living in the campus. He had a friend, a roommate who is a psychology major. They connected together. He started reading the psychology book. He got interested in psychology. He switched major from math major in MIT to psychology. He entered in psychology. This is 45 years back. He entered in psychology. By the way, he was a Jewish, and they were kicked out of Eastern Europe by the German. And his dad, while they were fleeing from in the time of the Second World War, his dad told him he had only, the sugar pack. This is the only thing that he had as in all his life. While they are fleeing from the Second World War, all his possession was a pack of sugar. And he's keeping it in his pocket, and this is what they had. His dad told him, anything you make, anything you do can be taken away from you, except what is in your mind. Again, his dad told him, anything, if you have possessions, if you have money, if you have properties, anything can be taken away from you except what you have in your mind. No one can take. Very brilliant, very smart. Switched to the field of psychology. And he said, in any psychology field, in order to do studies, you say, if couples have a successful communication, then they will be happy. You assume something and you start researching. If dads are more involved, people or kids will be out of prison. You assume something, and are you there? Well, I lost you. مش هينفع I lose you in this session. عاوزين more coffee, عاوزين more adrenaline, I don't know. But so this guy didn't do this. He didn't assume something and say, let me prove it otherwise. He said no. He videotaped couples for 45 years. Videotaping couples for 45 years. And every time he has studies for premarital, then he's seeing them when they are married, 1 year after marriage, 5 years after marriage, 20 years after marriage. He's very brilliant, very successful. He had in Seattle something called Love Lab. The couples are checking in the Love Lab on Friday night. They live in till Sunday night. Everything they say is recorded. Everything they do is videotaped and recorded, so cameras everywhere except in the bathroom and in the bedroom. From the beginning of the day till 9 p.m., they are recording everything. When the couples are having fights, it rings in the central control room, the voice of tone, they are seeing them. And so they send nurses to take blood pressure, urine samples, the pulse. It was unbelievable to do this for 45 years. This is weird. Funds, grants are coming. He's a very brilliant guy. And this is the name of this guy is named John Gottman. John Gottman, G-O-T-T-M-O-N. He is the worldwide authority in couples therapy, nationwide, worldwide. All my professors in my master's were saying, Gottman said, Gottman said, Gottman said, Gottman. Then I said, who is this guy that everyone is speaking about him? I'm telling you all of this, why? Because this is the 7 principles that Gottman has found, not based off that he is assuming things to happen. He is recording things, he's analyzing things, and he is reporting things based on evidence-based and research-based. So when Gottman is saying something, it is a fact, it is research, it is authentic. People change he said something about resolvable issues to unresolvable issues with couples that changed the world of counseling everywhere. I will share this with you. So this session, we are speaking about the 7 principles that John Gottman said, this is how marriage works. And when he is saying this, he means exactly what he's saying, and he is very successful. And a proof of this, he had over 90% accuracy of predicting divorce based on 5-minute fight he watched of a video. So they bring him, all these thousands of couples are fighting. They bring him 5 minutes. He watched the 5 minutes, and he is telling you this couple is going to divorce with a 50% accuracy. This is John Gottman and Julie, his wife. So this is not assumptions. This is not maybe. This is facts, very well researched, very well evidence-based. And John Gottman and another lady, her name is Susan Johnson, and very few others are the only people in the whole world that have research-based couples therapy. Everyone is, okay, if you are nice, then they will do this. If you are kind, then كلها assumptions, everything is just theories. But those two, no, they are not speaking about theories. This is evidence-based, this is science. They have documents that proves what they are saying. Susan Johnson. She is very famous of something called EFT, Emotional Focused Therapy. She is like the co-founder of it. So the 7 principles of how marriage or making marriage works, we'll go through them, but I wanted to show you something that Gottman mentioned, and based on this is the criteria that he predicts with the rate of divorce. He said there are 4 horsemen. You know the 4 horses in the book of Apocalypse? He is saying that those are the 4 horsemen of marriage. And when you see those 4, you know that there is destruction happening in the relationship. And based on one of them, he predicts the divorce rate with an accuracy of 90%. So those are the 4 horsemen that are destructive in any relationship, in any marriage, even in the relationship with kids, everywhere.
Solves the problem. and is really just an underhanded way of blaming your partner. The antidote to defense is selfish. You're so selfish.
What an idiot.
It's not my fault we're always late.
Forget it.
Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Dr.
Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, stonewalling. Criticism, it's very easy. You did this. I'm criticizing for you never cook well. And criticism with overgeneralization. You never respected me. You never provided for the family. You never. It is one event, but you are generalizing over all. So this is the first toxic horseman is criticism. If I'm keeping criticizing you, what you will be doing? What is the first thing that you will do? Defensive. I will be defensive, you know what? But you did this, and you never did this, and you never did this, and you never did this. Where is this leading? It's a vicious cycle. You criticize, the person is defending, the person keeps defending, and you are leaving each other bitter, angry, resentful, and hating yourself. What is contempt? This is the criteria that Gottman is based off, or he is looking for how many contempts in this 5 minutes. He do the math in his mind, and he tells you the percentage or the probability of them divorcing. Contempt is criticism with a lot of pride and humiliation of the other person in one setting. I'm just being sarcastic. Do you think that you understand anything? So now I'm criticizing his intellectual or his or her understanding level, but I'm being sarcastic and humiliating in the same time. Are you there? So the criticism, I'm criticizing, the home is messy. The home is messy, and this is criticism. Oh, again, the home is messy. Rolling up the eyes, making fun of the person. This is being sarcastic plus criticism. So it's a very, very powerful poisonous tool. When people are contempt, what happens on the other side? The stone wall. Stone wall, yani, look, the picture of stonewalling. I'm giving you my back. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Because of the repeated contempt that you have been talking me with. So those are the four. What are the four? Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. What is the difference between contempt and criticism? Sorry, I can't listen. Yes, humiliating while criticizing it happens maybe in sarcasm, maybe making fun of, maybe rolling your eye, maybe the body language. Do you know that what you say is 7% of the community? What you say, your words is 7%. Your tone of voice is 38%. Your body language is 55%. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. The good morning, the first good morning, it was nice. I was. The second good morning, where have you been? This is very intimidating. This is the tone. It is the same word, but it's the tone. 7% of the communication is voice. And I just told you good morning. Stable. Are you kidding me? You are saying it in a tone that is very aggressive. So this is not a good morning. So 7% is what we say, 38% is the tone of the voice, 55% is the body language. That's why text is one of the most poisonous way of communicating with each other when you are having an argument. Very dumb idea. You are texting, you don't see the voice. You can be hurtful, but you send a wink and say, "No, I'm just kidding." And here, when we play mind games, I didn't say this. Why you said this? It is all in your mind, and this is called mental abuse. There are emotional abuse, there is a physical abuse, there is a sexual abuse, and there is a mental abuse. No, did I say you this? No, I didn't mean this. And we keep playing games. It happens also very, very often. So those 4 horsemen are very destructive in any relationship and very toxic, especially the contempt one.
Walling. Gottman calls these negative communication patterns the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse because they'll lead to the end of your relationship. In fact, he can predict this relationship failure with over 90% accuracy if the behavior isn't changed. So, what can you do? Well, at the Gottman Institute, we understand you might not even know you're communicating this way, or you might not know how to control it. But if you practice the following 4 research-based antidotes, there is hope for your future. Criticism attacks the character of the recipient, instead of focusing on a specific behavior.
Criticism is attacking what? The character. So, Thomas and I feel that we are disrespecting the church because you are putting the bottled water on the ground. Why you are always irresponsible? I feel that we disrespect the church, and please remove the bottle from the ground. This is the I statement. I feel about what, and I mentioned I need what. You are irresponsible. Now I'm personally attacking you. It has nothing to do with the bottle of the water. I'm now against you personally, or as your mom and your dad. And no. If you find yourself going in this path, what you do? What do you do? I said it a while ago. What do you do? No, pause. No, let us rewind this. This. No. And this can happen even in a nice, funny way. No, you want? It seems that we are going to crash. This is a crash landing. This is the landing of a situation that we are going to crash. Let us rewind. Let us repeat this. So criticism is attacking the person. Complaint is speaking about an issue, not the person.
The antidote to criticism is to talk about your feelings using I statements, then express a positive need. Contempt is an expression of superiority that comes out as sarcasm, cynicism, name-calling, eye-rolling, sneering, mockery, and hostile humor.
And this is the main predictor of divorce. Sarcasm, cynicism. I don't know what is cynicism. Can you tell me? I don't know. Sarcastic or? Very negative. Okay. Name-calling, obvious. Eye-rolling, mockery, hostile humor. And I'm just kidding. In the end, I'm just kidding. No, what you're saying doesn't mean that you're just kidding. Because your body language and your tone of voice and your words are not adding up. There is something wrong. And here when we play, all of us are falling in this. Sometimes we are very frustrated, the need is not met. There is hunger for whatever is the need in any of the spouses, and they start using the contempt way as a way of communication. And here when they are hurting and building a wall between each other, that is very, very toxic to the relationship.
Contempt is the greatest predictor of relationship failure and must be eliminated. The antidote to contempt is to treat one another with respect and build a culture of appreciation within the relationship.
Respect and building a culture of appreciation. One of the very, very famous things that really change the whole dynamics of the couple when they appreciate genuinely things in their life. I appreciate you for helping me out when I was really tired towards the last night. I appreciate you cooking this very nice meal. I appreciate you paying those bills on time. I appreciate you taking care of the kids when I was stuck in my office. I appreciate. The more you appreciate, the more you are building positive environment. And the more the emotional bank account is filled, and the more the responsibility, the connection between the couple is deepened, and they become friends, not foes.
Defensiveness is self-protection through righteous indignation or playing the victim. Defensiveness never solves the problem, and is really just an underhanded way of blaming your partner. The antidote to defensiveness is to accept responsibility, even if only for part of the conflict.
How to deal? So, criticism, you then start with, I feel about what and I need what. Defensiveness, but you are always doing this. Okay, if the room is messy, it's my mistake, I'm sorry. Just the word of sorry saves a lot of hassles, genuine, wholeheartedly. We speak about 5 languages of apology soon. Because in many times, you go through a very painful experience and people think that they apologized, and when you ask the other person, did they apologize? No, they were never apologetic. They never felt sorry about what they did. They were just saying words. We'll speak about how to apologize in the right way shortly. But so how to solve, so those are the 4 horsemen: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, stonewalling. Are you there? So how to counteract criticism? I feel about what and I need whatever. This is like the magic solution for many stuff. I speaking about my feeling, speaking about an issue, not the person, not attacking the person, and I need so and so and so. So how to deal with defensiveness? Now someone is criticizing something I did. Yeah, مثلا the liturgy is late 10 minutes. And someone, you are always late, Abuna. يعني you came even on time. Now I'm attacking. So he's criticizing me and I'm being defensive. A solution for this, I'm sorry. I slept in and I am late today 10 minutes. I take responsibility of my action is not to attack back. Because the attack back, what happens is the other person will fall in contempt and you will fall in stonewalling afterwards. So a solution for criticism is I statement. A solution for defensiveness is taking responsibility before apologizing. Because, okay, sorry, when I apologized. The tone, the body language, and the words is different.
Stonewalling occurs when the listener withdraws from the conversation without resolving anything. It takes time for the negativity created by the first 3 horsemen to result in stonewalling. But when it does, it can become a habit. The antidote to stonewalling is to break for at least 20 minutes. Calm down, then return to the conversation.
Stonewalling, I don't want to talk, I avoid, you give each other the back to each other, and we don't want to talk, we don't want to deal with it. This is not a solution for the issue, because the issue needs to be addressed. So they are recommending, Gottman is recommending, when we are in a phase of stonewalling, take 20 minutes break, and in the 20 minutes break, de-escalate, soothe yourself, be more calm. Mish, in the 20-minute break, you are bringing the weapons and being ready for a more war or a more attacks after the 20 minutes. This is not stonewalling. This is not a solution for stonewalling. This is escalation of stonewalling. In the 20 minutes, you watch something funny, you listen to a nice music, listen to a nice Christian song that you like, and you will take a deep breath and you will de-escalate. You are not thinking of the issue, and you are returning back with a whole heart to really start again or redo what happened.
Spare your relationship from certain destruction. Learn more about eliminating the 4 horsemen by visiting our site.
So those are the four horsemen that those are the 7 principles in just a 7-minute video.
Principle 1. Enhance your love maps. Happy couples are familiar with each other's world. They have a love map of one another. They know all the details about their partner's life. They know each other's favorite TV show, what their current goals are, and what stresses them out. Without a love map, you can't really know your spouse, and if you don't really know someone, how can you truly love them?
The first level of, or the first principle is enhancing love map. Or what does it mean? If you ask yourself, okay, do I know what really is the favorite meal for my husband, or the favorite place for my wife, what she likes, what she doesn't like, who is her close friends, what is the stressors that is going in her life right now, what is really she is worried about, how he is feeling, how he is doing in his work or in his job. The more we are in syncing together, and we know each other, because how you are going to love someone whom you don't know. And the problem is the assumption that we have as a Copts. I remember a guy came and told me, we are married anyway. Halas, it's over. As if, you know, when you are buying a home and you lock the rate, you lock the rate of the mortgage that you are buying. So you have a rate lock for 60 days. So whether the market is up, the market is down, you have this rate locked and you are guaranteed this rate, because it is locked. Sometimes we as Copts have this mindset, oh, we are locked in this marriage anyway. So I'm stuck with her, she's stuck with me, so I don't want to work on my life or change me, because what she's going to do in the end. We don't have divorce, so pretty much being lazy, not working on the relationship, not caring for the person, assuming that we are married anyway, nothing is going to happen, and we'll never be going anywhere. So we are stuck in this relationship, so I am not doing anything proactively. And the problem is, how anyone married after 10 years? 10 years of marriage here? Okay. So when you ask those who are 10 years married, I'm more than 10 years. Is the person that you married is the same as the day you married them, the husband and the wife? Were they the same? Same? Definitely not. They have changed. Are you the same? Definitely not. You have changed. What is happening now? I am changing, she is changing, but we are sometimes, for whatever is the reason, assuming that we are under this lock setting, that none of us is changing. And we are, I know her, I know what she really likes and what she really cares for. I asked her this 10 years back. 10 years back, She is a completely different person and he's a completely different person, and it needs communication all the time, because we are both dynamic. We are both changing. You cannot just pretend that you did your homework well in premarital time and you're saying, I know what she likes. No, it's a continuous process, because both of us are changing. That's why we need, so the principle number 1, in order to love someone really good, you need to know them very well. Know them inside and out. Have moments that, what really, sharing memories in childhood, sharing funny stuff, knowing sometimes you will find the friends knowing about your spouse more than you know. And this is not good. There is something here is happening. This is not good. Because number one, enhance your love map. Know each other inside out forever, or as long as the relationship goes.
To enhance your love maps, find out what you don't know about your partner by asking questions. Here are some examples. Who are your partner's best friends? Who are the relatives your partner likes the least? What is your partner's basic life philosophy? And are you familiar with your partner's hopes and aspirations?
By the way, for every principle of Gottman, there is an inventory, there is a questionnaire ready to fill in, to write down, and to work on it. A very, very practical, nailed down in every single detail. And this is what is beautiful about this approach.
It can be easy to lose sight of your love maps amongst the events in life that require your attention, such as work, family issues, and other things. But for a healthy relationship, it is essential that you know each other's love maps. Principle 2. Nurture your fondness and admiration.
Increase, so number one, know each other. And this is a process that is going for life. It is not we knew each other. Number two, principle number 2 is nurture fondness and admiration. Admiration is, I admire you, I look up to you, I'm appreciating, and here when I appreciate is there. I appreciate how you looked in this wedding. You looked very beautiful. I appreciate your cooking. I appreciate your hair. I appreciate you providing for our family. I appreciate you taking care of my mom when I was stuck in work. The appreciation is building a very positive culture between the couples, that they are leaving all this negative stuff away.
This is perhaps the most important principle of all, so pay attention. To nurture your fondness and admiration for each other is to have a positive view of each other. A couple can find out their current level of fondness and admiration by seeing how they view their past. If they view it in a positive light, then they are likely to have a bright future. If they view it in a negative light, then they are in trouble. To nurture your fondness and admiration, Gottman stresses that appreciation is essential. Write down 3 or more of your partner's positive characteristics, along with an incident that illustrates each quality.
This is a very important exercise I highly recommend for all couples, regardless where you are. Whether you are living the most happy marital satisfaction life, or you are living a miserable life. The appreciation always works, always works. عشان كده the scripture said, in everything give thanks. Not in the good stuff, not on the things that is according to your will. In everything give thanks. In everything give thanks to God. In everything, this is one of the most precious things that you will do and you will gift to yourself, to your spouse, and to your kids as well. The concept of appreciation, I appreciate, thank you, thank you, thank you. Genuine one, not a fake, okay, thank you for anything, and you don't know what you are thanking for. That's why he's saying, I appreciate kindness because you kissed me. I appreciate gratitude.
Then read your list to each other. For example, if your partner did something as simple as doing the dishes instead of you, show your appreciation by thanking them for their kindness. The third principle is to turn toward each other instead of away. It's the little things that count. To be a happy couple, turn toward each other by showing you care. You can do this through small acts of giving your partner your full attention. Play a board game together, shop for groceries, or call each other during the...
The third principle, turn towards each other instead of turning away. In any relationship, there are 3 scenarios. The first is turn away. They are fighting, then they turn away, and this is the stonewalling. Second is attack, turn against. So you are saying this, then we are bumping heads. The best thing is turn. Instead of turning away, turn towards each other. Do something together, as it is recommended in this video. We are speaking about a book, or putting it in 7 minutes, so it's much, much deeper. And in the book, there is exercises also of doing how to turn towards each other and how to really connect.
Hey, these small acts are the basis of connection and passion. When stress and conflict comes in the way of happy couples, they will have more positivity in what Gottman calls their emotional bank accounts, which will help.
When you turn towards each other, the emotional bank account is filled. When you do something together, you go shopping together, you walk together. I have a neighbor, may God bless them, old in their age. On the dot, 4 p.m., you find them, the garage door is opening, the husband and the wife are getting out, they have their pet, they keep walking for maybe 20 minutes talking. And this is, I don't know much about what's going on in their life, but I'm assured that they are working hard on turning towards each other and building this positive environment that helps them when they are in a rough time, that this will carry them.
Alleviate their conflicts. Principle 4. Let your partner influence you.
You don't tell me what to do. You don't understand anything about finances. I am the finances guy, so just away from this. Let your partner influence you. Listen. Because sometimes I know a guy has been involved in a scam. Very, very, very weird scam. I don't know, an organization in Europe that is going to fund millions to the Coptic Church because of the prosecution of the Coptic Church. And they reached out to a very kind man and they told him, you know what, we are sending this, but in order to transfer this huge amount of money, we need this fees and this taxation and this and breakdown of everything with very, very, very perfectly done. And the wife told him, this is a scam. This is a scam. Okay, if they want to donate 15 million, they donate 15 million. You don't need to take money up front to donate. No one is doing this. Even if it is a grant or something, okay, deduct. Well, okay, if there is a 15 million donation, and there is a cost for this processing, maybe $100,000, send 15 million, less than $100,000. It's no big deal. So the wife was telling him, it is a scam. Don't understand anything. Bashing her, putting her down, contempt with her. And they paid over than $100,000 to this organization. It's a real story. Scam. They lost the money, and he returned back, and he didn't even apologize to his wife and telling her, you know what, I owe you an apology. What you said was right. You don't talk about this topic anymore. I know. Khalas. A defensive, aggressive way. Okay, at least own your mistake instead of being that aggressive and that mean, and accept the influence of others. Usually, we as men, we don't accept the influence of women. The norm is usually. So it's in the research. It's showing that men think, you know what, I understand it. You don't understand this much. So don't listen to what your partner is saying because I have known it more. When you let your partner influence you, then they feel that you are valued, you are heard, you are respected, and your opinion matters.
Happy couples work as a team and consider each other's feelings and perspectives. They listen to each other and make decisions together by searching out common ground. Gottman identified that men are more likely than women to ignore their partner's perspective when tackling problems together. They exert too much power and must be open to being influenced by their partner's perspective if they are.
So men are ignoring the influence of their wives in their decision, telling them, you know what, I understand what I'm doing, this is my, so don't worry about it.
To improve their relationship. It's not always the men though, the same message applies to women as well. For example, if you want to spend $10,000 on a new car and your partner wants to spend it on a holiday, then take a deep breath and listen to each other. Show empathy, don't criticize, and really think about your partner's viewpoint. Principle 5. Solve your solvable problem.
When the principle 5, this is what turned the whole counseling field upside down. Gottman was watching a couple, they were fighting. So he said, I saw that couple fighting on the same fight 5 years back. So he asked his assistant, okay, can you bring me all the fights of this couple? He has records for 45 years. They brought all the couple's fights. They are fighting about the same issue over and over and over and over again. Then he said he had two categories of couples. The first category is masters. He called them the masters in relationships. And the second group is the disasters in relationship. So he was looking to a fight in the disasters. So he said, so this must be the case with the masters group. So he pulled out all the recent information about the disasters. He looked to the trend of their fights, and he calculated how many of the fights are solvable, or the problems are solvable, and how many of the problems are unsolvable. Are you there? I don't want you to miss this. This is very crucial. How many of the issues are solvable and how many of the issues are unsolvable? In the disastrous group, the ratio is 69% of the issues are unsolvable. 31% is solvable. 69% are unsolvable. Then he said, okay, then this is the data of the disasters. Let us go for the masters. Same fights, same fights, same fights, same arguments, all the way back. Calculated all the resolvable to the unresolvable, and guess what? They have the same exact percentage-wise. 69% of the masters are fighting, or they have unsolvable, unresolvable issues. And 31% of the masters, they are having resolvable issues. Are you there? Well, I lost you. So the disasters are exactly equal to the masters in the ratio of unresolvable or unsolvable issues. What is the difference? By the way, the disasters and the masters, they solve the 31. It is solved. Okay, well, she wants Honda Accord and he wants Toyota Camry. They had a major fight and they ended up getting a Mazda 5 or 6 or whatever. Solvable, خلاص, the issue خلاص. They are fighting for Apple iPhone, while Droid, they got Samsung. But the issue is not in the solvable, because it is solvable. People are going for counselors, telling them, we have an issue, please solve it for us. This is not the issue. Because if you are going for a counselor asking for solving the problem, in most of the case, it is falling in the 69% of the unsolvable issues. Are you there? Well, I lost you. If you missed this, ما حدش يروح البيت. You are not going home. We keep repeating this till you get it. So the ratio of disasters to the masters is the same, the solvable to the unsolvable. So what is the difference? Why those are disasters and why those are masters? Any idea? All of this is close. The way they handled it, the perspective, they agree to disagree, okay. But I need more, something we just mentioned. Yeah, the disasters, they use what? It is in the four horsemen. It is in the four horsemen. The disasters are masters in the four horsemen. They are criticizing, they are defensive, they are contempt, they are stonewalling. And this is all how they deal with. I will give you an example. Adam and Eve. Adam is very meticulous in timing, on top of things, very, if it is 10 a.m. in the morning, he will be 9:45 in the place. Eve, Just relax, sit back. By 10 in the morning, she's, we have an appointment. It's 10. Okay. Adam is boiling in the car, honking the car, waiting for Eve to come. Eve is coming. Adam is bitter, is very angry, very agitated, and he started, you are irresponsible. You never keep your time. And I think this is all the way back to your mom and your dad. And you remember when they missed the flight and when we were going to Egypt. It is all personal attacks, negative criticism, contempt. And you think that you are that good? Let me tell you. And she will pinpoint about a mistake that he is doing repeatedly while he is claiming that he is punctual. For how long Adam and Eve will miss appointments or will have fights for every single event that they are going? All the time. This is an unresolvable issue. Unless they are creative and they try to do something. I will tell you a nice story happened with one of the youth. So Adam and Eve, so you go to the masters. Adam knows that Eve will be late. He tells her, you know what, look, how can I help you to make it in the car by 9:45? I am all there, I am ready, I get the kids are ready, I planned everything, the navigation is ready, let me help you out. The issue, okay, even if she is, okay, she came late and he is upset and he said, you know what, okay, look Eve, every time you will be late on our appointment, this is the deal. I got this piggy bank, you will put $2 in this piggy bank from your own money. And I will collect this money and I will get something nice for myself. We'll save tons of dollars by being late. So I'm fine with it, just cool. And the issue is repeated, the issue is in the personality of the couple, but the whole point, how they dealt with it. How they dealt with it. When you start with criticism, contempt, frustration, anger, humiliating, attacking the person and the family and the integrity of the, it's endless. This is an endless. So the same issue with Adam and Eve is the same issue with Adam and Eve, the masters and the disasters. It is Gottman calls it perpetual issues. It is an issue that keeps happening. How you deal with it, sometimes cracking a joke about it and easing the whole scene. I will tell you a nice, but this was not a couple, a guy having a fight every Sunday morning with all his family. He's very punctual. He wants to go to church. They have one car, and he wants to be a deacon. He wakes up 7. He gets ready by 7:30. He is waiting in the car. They are still sleeping. He goes and knocks on the door and pulls them out of the bed and yell and nightmare. They leave the home by 8:15. They are fighting in the car. Every Sunday they reach the church. They are late. He is angry. They are angry. They don't take communion. They fight after liturgy. Every Sunday. No, college age. He went to his father's confession, so Abuna told him, you know what, set clear boundaries. And this is the boundaries. You know what, I'm punctual. I wake up 7. I get ready by 7:30. I will wait in the car till 7:45. Tell them in advance, Saturday night. You are ready? Good. Join me. We'll go together to church. You are not ready? I'm so sorry. I will leave. And you can watch live stream for the liturgy and you handle it the way you want. So this is solvable or unsolvable? This is solvable. But it needs more creation or creativity in dealing with the issue. The whole point is if things is repeated, we need to be proactive and know what, okay, this is repeated for the past 4 Sundays, then it is not wise to keep repeating the same issue. Then I cannot control when people are waking up, how long they are taking to get ready. I cannot control it. It's out of my control. but I can control when I will leave. I can communicate this in advance. It is not in intimidation. It is not putting them down. It is not hurting down them. It is not attacking them personally. It is simply, this is the time, this is how I will work it out. If you have a better idea on solving the problem, then just tell me.
Gottman identifies two types of problems in relationships: solvable problems and perpetual problems. It can be hard to tell the difference, but one way to tell is that solvable problems seem less intense and gut-wrenching than perpetual ones. Solvable problems are situational and there's no underlying conflict. An example of a solvable problem is: Bill and Sally agree that it's Bill's job to take out the trash every evening after dinner. Lately he's been distracted from work obligations and so he forgets. Sally ends up taking it out herself, or the trash just sits there. In the morning the apartment smells horrible and so Sally is angry. This is a solvable problem. He's simply under a lot of stress at work, and it has nothing to do with the underlying relationship issues. One possible solution is to put a sign on the fridge door as a reminder to take out the trash. Problem solved. Here are
So the solvable problems are less intense, situational, are not underlying a conflict. It is not something repeated. So being creative, dealing with the issue without escalating is a much easier setting. The perpetual problems, there are two things that Gottman said and one thing that I added. I will share it with you shortly.
Solve a solvable problem. Number 1, soften your startup. When bringing up an issue, be calm, kind, and don't criticize. Number 2, make and receive repair attempts. When the argument is getting out of hand, let your partner know and suggest taking a break. 3, soothe yourself and each other. On your break, go for a walk, listen to some music, read, or meditate. 4, compromise. Share and consider each other's viewpoints to come up with a solution that works for both of you. 5, be tolerant of each other's faults.
So in order to solve the solvable problems, soften startup. When the startup is easier, when the way you start or coming across in the communication is easy, make and receive repair attempts. I will give you an example. Adam is stepping in the home. He had a phone call. So he went all the way to his wife. But he didn't greet her, he didn't give her a kiss or a hug, and he stepped on the couch finishing his phone call. So she felt appreciated, or he didn't greet her, he didn't respond to her at all, so she didn't like it. So Adam finished the phone call, he returned back, went to the kitchen, and he's giving a hug to his wife, telling her, I'm sorry, I was in the phone call, I didn't greet you. Are you there? So Eve will tell him, alas, you already lost your chance. This is a repair attempt. So he is trying to repair a mistake that he has done, but she is not responsive to that repair. And this is one of the things that really is making a big deal in connecting the couples, because whenever there is a repair attempt, there is a willingness to connect, there is a willingness to be there. And when you pick on this repair attempt, it is very, very helpful that you connect more, and it has a very powerful value. So solving the problem, the solvable, easy start up, make and receive repair attempts, soothe yourself if you feel that you are anxious or angry. Try to compromise and be tolerant of each other's faults.
Incidents in the past that come up in arguments, identify them, discuss them, and apologize where necessary. So what about perpetual problems? Well, here's an example of one. Susan wants to spend less time with Jim and more time with her friends. Jim says it makes him feel lonely. Susan says she needs time away from him. Jim seems needy to her and she's feeling suffocated by him. This is a perpetual problem. There is a core difference in their personalities and what they need from each other to feel connected. The difference is unlikely to change, so they will have to be willing to accept and
In the perpetual issues, whether, as the example, she wants to have more time with her friends and he is feeling lonely, he is feeling abandoned, you don't love me anymore, why you are leaving me, this is too much time, I feel suffocated. They keep going back and forth in this. For how long? For as much as they can. The disasters will use the four horsemen. They start attack, start a fight, contempt, stonewalling, and they leave each other very bitter, very angry, very painful experience. While those who are solving or dealing with the perpetual issues or the unsolvable issues is accept the person and adapt to the situation. Accept and adapt, and I will only add praying. Those are the three things that really works when something is repeated. Accepting, adapting, and praying about it. They had a nice study about couples that has been married for 50 years. 50 years. And they asked them, what are the one thing, name one thing that made you stay for 50 years married? And all the couples married above 50 years, they said they agreed on one thing. What is this? Being together? No. Compliments? No. Adapting to each other? No. Friendship? No. Accepting each other. That they reach that I will accept Eve will accept Adam as he is. And Adam is going to accept Eve as they are. And when you are accepting the person as he or she is, then you can influence them to change. I will give you a silly example. Can you change an Amazon order that has been shipped to you without accepting the order? Can you do a change on the order without accepting it? You need to accept it first. And then when you accept it, okay, I have this order, I have this tracking number, and you can call the customer service and do change on the accepted one. You cannot do change, you cannot influence any change of your spouse in your spouse if you are not accepting them. They feel it, you are rejecting me, you don't like me at all, so they will refuse to be changed because you are not accepting me as an individual or as a person. The key for making change in the other is accepting who they are in the beginning. And after you accept who they are, then you can start making changes or making adjustment or talking about fine-tuning of things. There is the people who are doing research, they went in one of the cities and they were asking about couples, and all the people in the city said, this couple, we never heard them fighting, we never saw them arguing. They are like the model couple. So all the researchers said, let us go and see this couple because everybody is speaking positively about them. So they went and they met the couple. They were old. And they told them, we are very interested in knowing what's going on in your life and how did you make it for all this amount of years and no fights and no arguments for 30 years. So they smiled, they looked to each other and smiled, and the guy said, there is a story behind it. In our honeymoon, we went to Hawaii. This is a true story. In our honeymoon, we went to Hawaii. And we took 2 horses going up the mountain in a sightseeing thing. And the horse that my pretty wife was sitting on acted up and a little bit moved, so she was going to fall. And she stepped down from the horse and she told the horse, this is number 1. A few minutes later, the horse repeated this and she descended from the horse and she said, this is number 2. Third time, the horse did it. She took her gun, she shooted the horse in his forehead and said, this is number 3. So he's telling him, so what happened what has this to do with your relationship? He told him, I messed up once and she told me, this is number one. And until then, they never fight.
Adapt to it if they want their relationship to thrive. Principle 6. Overcome gridlock. Gridlock is the result of perpetual disagreements where both partners have entirely different beliefs, dreams, or personalities. Josie wants to have children, Harry doesn't. Ben wants Sally to go to church with him, but Sally is an atheist. Gottman claims these issues are unlikely to be solved, but you can learn to accept and adapt to your differences.
The gridlock, overcome a gridlock, is like perpetual issues. There are two things that you do: accept, adapt. The third one is prayer, because in many times prayer opens the heart and change how you look to things and how you can tolerate.
Identify and respect each other's dreams and beliefs. You don't have to agree with them, but acknowledge, listen, and show respect to what your partner has to say. Come up with a temporary compromise and thank each other for sharing. The last principle is to create shared meaning. Shared meaning will enhance your marriage by bringing you together. Here are 2 ways you can create shared meaning. 1. Create rituals of connection. This could be anything that brings you together that you do on a regular basis, such as sharing a morning routine, celebrating Easter each year by going out as a family, or eating out together once a week. And number 2, work towards a common goal, such as helping the community through volunteer work or building a houseboat. And now you don't have to go building a...
Sometimes you feel, people will be telling you, I feel that my life is meaningless. I'm not doing anything of value. We are just in a feeling emptiness. Creating, shared meanings is, you have, maybe you start a service together as a couple. Maybe you take care of couple of homeless people in your neighborhood. Maybe you volunteer in your kids' school together and do something that will create shared meaning. So creating a ritual of connection that, like this couple, the neighbors, 4 p.m., they open the garage door, they go walk with their pet. So this is a connection that gives meaning. They are longing for, they are waiting for this. Working towards a common goal of something they wish to do, or they aspire to have in their life.
But it can be any goal that you both agree on that involves both of you.
So those are the 7 principles that Gottman has found in his research. And now let me ask you, the primary goal of those helping married couples should be to reduce conflict in relationships. False. No, it is to repair and taking influence. That to repair, to help them accept influence. False or true? Sorry. Unhappily, married couples underestimate the positivity in the relationship by as much as 50%. So it is not important to be living a positive life. It is true. It's a fact. Negative sentiment override, or negativity that is taking over. Bickering, passionate couples were the only group to have romantic marriage after 35 years. Bickering ne'erun ear. So they are on top of each other's head. Bickering, passionate couples were the only group to have a romantic marriage after 35 years. This is true. Let's look why. If they repair effectively. The key, if this arm is broken, God forbid, and I went and I did the cast and they brought the arm back, when the healing is happening, where is the most strong part in the arm? Where it was broken. It is the strongest part, if it healed well. So, if we have a fight and we are attempting to repair this fight to heal right, this will be adding more stronger connection in the life of the couple, more even than before, because they repaired it effectively. They avoided using the four horsemen. So how to avoid criticism? I statement. How to avoid criticism? I feel about what and I need what. How to avoid defensiveness? Taking responsibility. Yeah, it is my mistake. I'm late in the liturgy. How to the antidote for, or how to correct contempt? Contempt is soft start up, and also the I statement is a key. I statement is a solution for criticism and for contempt. Stonewalling, when you are flooding or you are completely stressed out or turning away from each other, take a break, soothe yourself, and return back to the conversation. In ailing marriages, this is one I like. In ailing marriages, couples generally communicate clearly. In ailing, falling marriages, the couples communicate clearly. True. But in ailing marriages, what they communicate is negative. They communicate clearly, negative way. And they are masters of the four horsemen. Okay, if you didn't get this one, we're going to repeat the whole session. Most things people argue about cannot be solved. Most people argue about cannot be solved. It's true. How much? 69%. 69%. Okay. When you ask men and women about stuff, they never agree about anything, except in this slide. 80% of people who are filing for divorce, nearly 80% of men and women say their major reason of wanting a divorce is. This is from the legal perspective. They are not feeling close. They are not feeling loved. They are not appreciated. Not feeling close or loved or appreciated. Those are 80% of people, of men and women, which never happen. We bring the 10 emotional needs, put them in 2 rooms, do the questionnaire. The 5 emotional needs of the men is different than the 5 emotional needs of women. But in this, everyone agreed that we are not close. I don't feel that we are close. I don't feel loved, and I don't feel appreciated. How to solve this? Which one you will start with? Appreciation is the key. When you start with appreciation, it brings everything in order. It is the easiest, simplest, most genuine thing that you can do that will change the whole dynamics in the relationship. The element of personal communication, I told you this, 7% just the words, 38% the voice tone, and 55% the body language. And there is a difference between good morning and good morning and good morning. This is a beginning of a fight. The body language says a lot. And Gottman called this harsh startups. We mentioned this about the 4 horsemen, the marriage killers. This is a funny statistics. Time in the gym versus time in marriage. So a guy who is going to the gym very often, and he's spending more time, because in the gym you feel good, because there is more dopamine released, and you feel good about yourself because you exercised. Gottman is saying, I often think that if fitness buffs spend just 10% of their weekly workout time, say 20 minutes a day working on their marriage instead of their bodies, they would get 3 times the health benefits they derive from exercise class or treadmill. Because a happy and healthy relationship extends the average of the life of a man from 4 to 5 years. Again, the happy and the healthy relationship extends the average of the life of the husband for 4 or 5 years. And the opposite, the miserable, the negative marriage shorten the life by 5 to 4 years. And this is science. I think I will just speak about apology because I feel that there is a huge need for it. Many of us the five languages of apology. When they researched the people how they apologize, because you go and you ask, it is very confusing. Did he apologize to you? Yes. Did you apologize to her? Yes, I apologized 10 times, Abuna. Believe me, 10 times. Then I go and ask the wife, did he apologize to you? No, he never. But he said that he apologized 10 times. So is he lying? No, he's not lying. But I didn't feel that he is apologizing. So what do you mean by feeling that he's? It turns out to be a big issue everywhere. As a matter of fact, in a perfect world 3, there would be no need for apology. But because of the world is imperfect, we cannot survive without apology. When your sense of right is violated, the person will experience anger. He or she will feel wronged and resentful at the person who has violated his or her right. Something inside the offended person calls for justice. I want to get back to you. But as we, human beings being carried in God's image and likeness, there is something else within us hopes for forgiveness. Let me tell you this. A family where there is no forgiveness and there is no apology is not a Christian family. Is not a Christian family. It's a family somewhere else on a different note. No, I recall a guy, 18 years old boy, a young man, coming me very, very, very bitter and resentful from inside and telling me, can you believe, Abuna, for 18 years mom didn't say sorry once. For 18 years she never said sorry. And he is full of anger, full of resentment. And he started giving me a very weird list. They were driving, and there is a store that he heard of that store from school. They never went to that store, and when they were driving, he was little, and he told his mom, it seems that this store is coming up that I told you about, because he saw the sign and he knew the sign of the store. So she told him, no, you don't understand anything. This store is not even in this neighborhood. Okay, they walked, in the car, they came nearby the store. Look, I told you. He was smiling. I told you. You never understand anything. You don't tell me, you don't. I'm sorry. And he is bringing all this memory after memory after memory after memory. Are you that prideful to say sorry? Are you that prideful to humble yourself and say, you know what, I did mistake, I messed up? This is the best time that you are able to connect. I will tell you a story. I was driving in the car. In that time, Mora is 7 years old. Mark is 5 years old. No, Mark is 6 and Mora is 8 in that time. So Mark is telling me, Dad, we had a free screen electronic device on Friday. So can I take the iPad? We had only one iPad in that time, and I brought very, very powerful screen protector that even if there is an atomic bomb, nothing is going to happen to this iPad. So I told him, yeah, take the iPad, no big deal. And Mora collapsed. Crying. And I said, yeah, there is something horrible is happening. I didn't know what's going on. So I told her, are you okay? Dad, 2 years back, I asked you the same question. And you said, no iPad. Okay. It seems that I was praying, and that day God gave me the grace. And I told her, in a setting like this, if this is the mom that never said sorry, this never happened. 2 years back, we didn't have an iPad even. You are telling me this, and why you are so envious to your brother? But you should be happy that your brother is enjoying his life in the school. Why you are so mean? And you can start a whole different story. So there, Mora, I'm sorry. I messed up. It's my mistake. How can I make it up for you? In a fraction of a second. She told me, okay, we go Target right now and get me this and this and this and that. I told her, okay. We canceled the plan. We switched to Target. We got the stuff that she wanted. And I asked her in the end, do you feel that you were treated fairly in this? And she said, yes. And an opportunity of messing up with a genuine apology, with a genuine taking responsibility and feeling remorse about your mistake and saying, what, I messed up. It is my responsibility. I am sorry. How can I make it up for you? The problem, instead of being a hindrance or an issue that is disconnecting us, when you apologize the right way, it is a place where you connect more and you build this trust relationship. So what are the 5, for the sake of time, there are 5 apology languages. Now, the first language is expressing regret or remorse. And I feel bad about what I did. I'm sorry. I don't know how did I did this. And genuinely, wholeheartedly saying, you know what, it is my mistake. Everybody is doing it. Why you are so mean? Why you are picking on little tiny things? Do you think that this is really matters? Or don't ruin an apology with an excuse. I'm sorry, but I was angry in that day. I'm sorry, but I had a bad day that... I'm sorry. I'm justifying myself. I'm not apologizing. I'm justifying myself in front of my spouse or my kids. I'm sorry, I didn't give you your iPad. Most probably I forgot about it. This is not apology. This is I don't know what to name it. Expressing regret and remorse is a key. And this appears on what you say, your body language, and your tone of voice. Yeah, I messed up. I'm sorry about this. Number 2, accepting responsibility. Don't ruin an apology because when I am giving an excuse, then I'm not responsible for it. It is, this funny story that a wife was confessing to Pope Shenouda. And she kept confessing to him, and the first thing, she told him, my husband is doing this, my husband is doing that, my husband. And in the end told Sayyidina, please absolve me. So Sayyidina told her, bring your husband to absolve him. You confessed on behalf of your husband. I'm not absolving you on anything. You are righteous. You are a superwoman. You don't need you don't need confession. You are out of this world. We have this mindset of, you know what, but I'm not accepting responsibility. This is my mistake. You are going to memorize this. Number 1, no, this is not going to work out. Everyone. Number 1, expressing regret. Number 2, accepting responsibility. Number 3, making restitution. How can I make it up for you? And this is what saved me in that car, in that day. I don't know how I got this. I apologized. I was genuine. And I said, how can I make it up for you? And my day was completely changed. Because okay, how can I make it up for you? How can I change this for you? If there is anything that I can do that will change this, what do you think of it? Number 4, genuinely repenting. Repentance means I will never do this again. Repentance is a U-turn. If I'm moving in a direction, so a sign that I am really changing is I stop doing whatever I am doing. It is not, okay, I'm feeling very bad, I'm remorseful, I'm taking responsibility. How can I make it up for you? And I keep repeating it. This is not an apology. So I'm feeling bad about what I did. I'm sorry, I take responsibility. It's my mistake. How can I make it up for you? Number 4 is, I promise you I will never do this again. This is the 4th language of I promise you I will never repeat this again. I will do my best not to repeat this again. So the first language is I am sorry. The second one, I was wrong. The third one, how can I make it up for you? So I am sorry, I was wrong, how can I make it up for you? I will try not to do this again. And the last, which is the hardest, will you please forgive me? It is very hard. It is very hard to say, can you forgive me? I will tell you a story. We'll end with this. So what are the 5 languages of apology? Number 1, to say what? Express regret. Number 2, accept responsibility. It is my mistake. Number 3, how can I make it up for you? Number 4, I will never repeat it. Number 5, ask for forgiveness. Can you forgive me? And I will end with this story. A lady has been abused by her dad for years and years and years while back in Egypt. This is a true story. Yeah. Every time she's going, and by the way, anything that hits in the figure of the dad, and many times it hits in the figure of God. Many, many times. So if dad is abandoning me, then God maybe is not existing. Many, many times. She's going to church, she's not involved in church, she doesn't want to take communion, she doesn't want to go to church, and her friends knew. So one of her close friends told her, what's going on? She told her, I'm not into church, I'm not in this stuff. After a while she opened up and she told her, you know what, I hate my dad because he did this and this and this and this to me. Many years, repeatedly, for years. The dad is back home in Egypt. They did a group, prayer group. The friends, the close friends, they started praying, and they were praying every week together in the same place for a year. For a year. Asking that God will give this young woman forgiveness, that she will be able to forgive her dad. After a year, she said, you know what, now I'm not holding anything against her. I'm okay. She called her dad. She told him, Dad, I remember everything that you did, but I'm just calling you to tell you I forgive you. The dad started crying on the other side. She was crying. It was very emotional. And the dad, after 6 months, got serious sickness. They flew him from Egypt to the US. She stayed with him in the hospital and in the ICU in this critical situation the past few months of his life. And on his deathbed, he told her, you know what? What was the best thing that you did for me all your life? It was that phone call. I couldn't even forgive myself, and because you gave me the freedom by forgiving me, and you removed all this heaviness on my chest because you told me, I forgave you. This was the best thing that you have ever done to me. And when you care that the people forgive you, it is showing how genuine you are about your apology. Yeah, I said sorry. Alas, how many times did you need me to tell you sorry? This is ridiculous. And you keep, you are doing something wrong, and in the same time you are starting using the 4 horsemen to attack while you are doing the wrong thing. So it leaves the person even more bitter, more angry, more resentful, and more disconnected. And glory be to God forever and ever. Amen. How late we are? An hour behind? We'll make the next session shorter. And if we can have the lunch 30 minutes. But can we pray for the food before we leave?